Hello and welcome back to the Everything Film Podcast. We had just finished watching Daredevil Born Again, and we wanted to tell you guys what we thought about it. So without any further ado, let's get started. Ryan, what do you think about Daredevil Born Again?
I think that it is a great show and a worthy follow up to the OG Netflix show. I do feel like the two different creative teams heard it a lot. You can tell during the middle of the series is going in no direction, but I do think the once the Loki writers or once the Loki directors get on, it gets really good and you can see where the show's going. It also feels like a bunch of setup because this season was split into two parts because it was supposed to be 18 episodes originally and now it's 9. So it feels like a bunch of setup for season 2, and that also hurt. The finale didn't feel like a finale. It felt like a mid-season finale.
Yeah, I agree because watching it, it felt like the show had just started for me. Like the end of the episode was episode 1 or like what episode 2 should have been. Um, it kind of like I do see because like I think the other creative team had this idea and that's what we saw at the end, but the other like the first creative team didn't really know what they were doing. And if they did, well, maybe they did, but like we didn't get to see what their vision was. And like you said, it didn't really have a direction at the beginning, but at the end it like pulled everything together and then um, it set season 2 up.
Yeah, that's why I think season 2 will be better than season 1
Yeah, I agree.
because it's just one team working on it and they can give their vision without having any other interference.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, yeah, because I heard like there was even this other creative team. I don't know if it's like the first one, but they were going to make it like a light-hearted comedy, similar to She-Hulk,
Yeah,
and
eh,
that sounds scary to me.
yeah. I know Daredevil's comedic in the comics, but that doesn't really work in the live action. He's still funny in the live action one.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of CW's Arrow. You know how
Yeah,
he kind of like inserts some comedy here and there, and he can be a funny person, but he's mostly serious.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be like the fans would not have been happy with Daredevil Born Again if that's what we got.
It might have actually been the worst Disney Plus show.
Yeah. Well, I don't think anything can be worse than She-Hulk.
Well, I mean, if this was like She-Hulk,
I think just like just seeing Daredevil,
he
Charlie
wouldn't. He
Cox.
wouldn't have been on. He would have just been Matt Murdock.
Yeah, but I think he has so much aura as a person
Yeah, he
that like
does.
it would just automatically be better than She-Hulk. Yeah, I think everyone would prefer it just because it's Daredevil. Okay, so let's talk about the man himself, Daredevil. Um, what do you think about the way they executed his character?
I think they did a great job handling his character because at the start of the season, he abandons Daredevil and he's just Matt Murdock. But we slowly start to see him having to use violence, and we slowly see his darker half come out. Like in episode 3, I believe, when he has to fight off the dirty cops. Then in episode 4, when he goes to see the Punisher and he hits him. Then in 5, the bank episode. And then we even see him training. We even see him restarting training. And I think that they handled his return to Daredevil really well.
Yeah, I agree. Because it's like the whole, like everything leading up to like the first time or the second time he suited up as Daredevil, it felt like the whole show was calling him. Every moment was calling him and telling him to just go back and that the system doesn't work and that he should just put the suit back on and take matters into his own hands.
Yeah, and I think the show does a great job at writing reasons for him to need to use his skills.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, on paper, like, seeing the amount of episodes that we go without seeing Daredevil in his suit or, being Daredevil fighting crime, you would think that that would be boring, and that's what I thought it was going to be. But actually watching it, it's not boring at all. Like, it's really cool to see him use his powers in his everyday life, see how he applies it to his everyday life, and just like, even though he's he's doing things the right way and trusting the system, but he's still here and there, uses his powers to get what he wants or get what he needs. That was really cool to see, and I don't think it was boring. It wasn't boring to me.
Yeah, I think like the White Tiger case, that was really interesting to see it unfold because he knew Hector was telling the truth, but he couldn't prove it. And like his they wrote him really well in the show. Even his conversation with Punisher is like the dialogue is great.
Yes, I love that scene.
Yeah, I think they handled him well. Even like this with the CGI and the way he's swinging, it looks bad, or it doesn't look bad, it just looks questionable sometimes. But overall, it looks good, and I like that he's more acrobatic now.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I think they really ramped, like, they amped everything up, and this is the best version of Daredevil we've seen. And I love that. I love the different suits that he has and how he, like, everything's kind of just going well for him, but also like really bad. And I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so let's talk about the Punisher. He didn't get that much screen time, but I think, to me, I think, like, when he did, like, I think he got just enough, because I think this is like Daredevil's story, and the Punisher wasn't really like needed for that many episodes.
He was just here for two.
Yeah. Um. Again, like, the dialogue between Daredevil and the Punisher is so good. It's always so good. Um, it almost reminds me of Superman and Lois in the Superman movie. Just the way, like, they argue.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, they're so different. Like, they're just polar opposites. But they don't even get along.
They really don't.
It,
Because Frank kills all the time. And we can see Matt's not happy with it.
yeah, and they never, like, willingly team up. Like, it's always just because they have to, or one of them is just there, or Matt is trying to stop him.
Yeah.
And in this case, Karen called the Punisher. So, like, they really don't get along at all. And I wouldn't even, like, say they're friends or allies. Yeah, I just love the way they handled that.
Yeah, and I think when he's talking to Matt, like, he's like, I think you want my permission. That scene was really well written. It's one of the better written scenes in this show because he's like, you want you want to go back to fighting. You want to. You just came here to get my permission. And Matt's like, that's interesting. The way they wrote the way his role helps, it supports Matt's arc during the season is really well. Sometimes shows struggle to have the side characters enrich the main character's arc, but it really gives us a smooth transition from Matt putting Daredevil away to him coming back. I think that's one of the other things the show nails is not having, not using him as just a cameo, but actually helping him develop Matt further.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And also, I think what's so cool about their dynamic is that Frank fully, like, he gets Matt. He understands him, like, totally. And he knows, like you said, he knew that he went there to ask him for permission. He knew at all the struggles he was going through, all the struggles he was facing. And I think it's like because he went through what Matt went through. I'm pretty sure he wasn't always just killing people like he is. And like he did have that mental issue, but I think he debated whether he would he wants to kill people. And he went through what Matt was going through. And what Matt is going through, but Matt has a stronger willpower, you know. And Frank just fully understands him because I think at one point in his life, Frank was there too. He trusted in the system, and he believed that everyone should get justice through the system, and that's why he's able to understand Matt. But Matt can't really, like, he can kind of understand him, but not really. And
Yeah,
I love that dynamic. And
because
also, yeah,
Frank wants Matt to get justice the way he does, but Matt wants the opposite. Matt wants Frank to get justice the way he does. They both want the other person to join their lifestyle and to fight crime the way they do. And I think that gives for such an interesting story.
or not fight crime at all, like
Yeah,
the way they do. Because Matt wanted him to, like join the military
yeah,
or the police or something. Yeah. And also, I think this is the most brutal. I haven't seen the special or the Punisher show, but like I think he's way more brutal and violent in this show than um, the original Daredevil series.
yeah. Because some of the stuff he's doing, usually Matt will like stop him more. But I feel like Matt was just letting him go out on some of these cops, on some of his task force.
Yeah, I also think it's because he was weakened, so he couldn't really do that much to stop him because the Punisher was there to help him
Yeah,
because he couldn't really like help himself. I think that's why. But yeah, overall, I like the way they handle Frank and the Punisher.
yeah. I think he was really well done here. They didn't overuse him.
Yeah.
We got like I wish we got more of him, but I think I'm satisfied knowing that we'll get him 3 times next year.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna get him in Daredevil Born Again season 2,
The
his own
Punisher,
special, and Spider-Man Brand New Day.
yeah.
Let's not get sidetracked with Brand New Day. Yeah, but let's move on to Kingpin. Do you want to start this one?
Yes, so we're talking about how brutal the Punisher is, but Kingpin in this season, he starts off as he wants to do good for New York, and you're actually buying it, and you're like, okay, maybe he's not bad here. He wants to change, and just like Matt, we slowly see his darker half come out. Like with Commissioner Gallo, he kind of pushed it out.
Yeah.
And then we saw what he did to Gallo in the finale, crushing his head. I think that's also the most brutal MCU scene. I haven't seen The Punisher either, so I don't know if anything in there is more brutal than him crushing somebody's head. But I think it's definitely up there.
Yeah, that was like invincible level,
Yeah,
like
and it was kind of
violence.
worse than
Yeah, yeah, than the Red Rush scene.
yeah, because Red Rush it was like super speed.
Yeah, it was like super quick, but this, like, we slowly saw his head,
Yeah, and his
like, get
face
crushed.
turned red.
Yeah, his eyes started to bleed, and then like we could still see his jaw attached to
Yeah,
his face. Like that was brutal.
Red Rush. It was just like for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, then like everything splattered.
Yeah, but his whole his and it makes it more impressive that Fisk doesn't have any powers.
Yeah.
He's just that strong. And we see him not fitting into his old clothes. So he's getting bigger and stronger. And the fact that he's strong enough to do that is like really scary.
Yeah. It's very unsettling.
Yeah, and I feel bad for Gala.
Yeah. Yeah. That scene left me speechless. Even talking about it right now.
Yeah, even like seeing it censored is still bad.
Yeah. And what I love about this show, and maybe like what I don't like about it at the same time, is that it feels like a calling. And like they finally, they're like a um, Matt and Wilson both respond to the calling at the end. And
Yeah.
the whole show, it's been pushing both of them to go back to how they were, back to their real selves. And finally, like at the end, we see them reveal who they really are. And I really like that about the show. And also don't like because it kind of feels like it can feel like filler sometimes because like I think as you're watching it, it's really good. But then once you get to the last episode and you see the ending, it's like everything you just watched was like filler. And the show just started, but there's nothing else. So that's yeah, that's what I like and that's what I like and don't like. But I really do like the way they handled Kingpin. I do agree with you when you said like sometimes like you kind of buy into him being good. And like you kind of question maybe, you know, is Wilson a bad guy or is he actually trying to do what's right by New York?
Yeah, and it's even the whole Adam stuff. The way he just kind of found a loophole. He's like, "You told me not to kill him. I didn't kill him. I just torture him." And I think Vanessa also kind of pushes the side out of him in a way because she kills Adam, and he's like, "Okay, we're killing again." So it kind of opens the door for him a little.
Yeah, Vanessa was way more brutal this season too
Yeah,
because like he didn't even like ask her to kill him.
yeah, he did it.
Like not on screen at least. Like I guess he may have hinted at it. And the way like she didn't even like argue. She just did it. Just like that.
She just got annoyed with him.
Yeah. Honestly, if I was Adam, like when I heard him like talk like that, I'm like, Adam, just stop. Maybe if you like would shut your mouth for a little bit,
Yeah.
maybe you would have still been alive.
And
But
also, Fisk just has vigilantes. He has swordsmen underground. He
yeah,
has he had Punisher. He's just collecting vigilantes to that basement of his. He's just kidnapping them. And I'm wondering like, will swordsman get out?
yeah, and I think he will, but like how? And are we gonna see Kate Bishop,
In season
make an
2?
appearance? Yeah, because that's her. Well, it's not really. I guess let's just say it's her friend, or
Yeah.
yeah. And I think like if he was in trouble, she would show up for him because he didn't really do anything wrong to her.
Also, she's encountered Fisk before.
Yeah, yeah. And also like the team at the end that he assembles, like it's not at all what I expected
Yeah.
because it could have been Kate Bishop or and it could have been Spider-Man. And I kind of get why Spider-Man wasn't there because I guess it's like a thing with Sony. But Kate Bishop could have been there. Um, Echo could have even like been there. Um, who else? Like, there's a lot of other people but like he got that one detective, and it's
Yeah,
just like
he got a
random
bunch of
people.
cops. And
Yeah, the
the
people
only
who are
good,
there.
the only like good hero, the only brand is like Daredevil and Punisher.
Yeah,
Or Punisher wasn't part of his team, it's just him. Everybody else is just cops.
yeah. That's why I don't really understand. I thought he was putting together a team of vigilantes.
Yeah, I thought he was reassembling the Defenders
Yeah, he could have like assembled any one of the defenders, but I guess maybe he will
in
with
season 2.
with Jessica Jones. Yeah, who knows if we'll see anyone else. Okay, so let's talk about Bullseye. Bullseye, they didn't make him any less good or any less like of the way that he is.
Yeah, he got crazier here, I think,
Yeah.
with that scene where he's escaping prison
Yeah, the way he just uses his own tooth.
as a weapon.
Only Bullseye. Like,
Yeah,
we,
only he would do something like that.
yeah. And also, like, just because that, like, the reason for that is because Matt was the one who, like, hit his head or made him hit his head on the table. And that's how he did it. And the way that worked out, like, I was
He
not expecting
rage
that.
baited Matt,
Yeah.
and Matt fell for it.
Yeah. And also, he's the one who killed Foggy. Even
Yeah,
though he might not have been the one um, who like came up with the idea,
yeah, Vanessa hired him to.
but still, like he was just gonna do it. He did do it, and also like the fight scene at the beginning with him and Daredevil was really was really good and very like cool to watch.
Yeah, I think it was really well choreographed and stuff.
Yeah,
Also, the way Matt just drops him off the building.
yeah, that surprised me, and also like he just walked away,
Yeah,
like he kind of scooted away.
like
Yeah,
he was creepy here. He wasn't the creepiest, but he was a really creepy villain. I
yeah,
think the creepiest one is Muse.
yeah, definitely. Like his suit was like that gave me anxiety. Just looking at it, like it made me anxious because like the blood coming down his eyes and then like the beanie and
Yeah,
like the white suit, but like it's just dirty. It's
yeah.
really dirty. They really like they did his suit really well.
Also, the way he's cutting into people's arms, the way he just leaves it open.
Yeah, like when I saw that scene with him and Ayala when he was like he got the syringe and he was just taking blood. I was like, okay, Matt has time to come and save her, but then he leaves and gets his big syringe that's like dirty and everything. I was like,
Yeah, he's really creepy.
yeah, he's very creepy. Yeah, and they were. I think he was like the main villain, because Kingpin wasn't really like you knew that he was the villain, but like
He didn't do anything evil
yeah,
until like the end.
Muse was the one filling in that void of like being like there being a bad guy. He
Yeah,
was the villain, and
and
it was because of Muse that Kingpin became evil again.
yeah, because if Matt never came back,
Yeah, then Kingpin wouldn't have been the Kingpin.
that Muse was such a great villain, which is why I'm disappointed they just killed him off.
I think they had to, because like where we see Heather end up, like I think it's because of her killing Muse and her having that experience with Muse, and also like how things ended between her and Matt. That's also because of Muse, and her and Matt both have very different opinions on vigilantes. And I think that had to happen, even though it would. Muse was annoying though. I'm kind of glad he's dead because like the way Daredevil was just beating him up, and you could just tell that he was better than him, but he just kept fighting him and fighting him, but like he just kept getting up, no matter what he did to him, and it was so annoying. And the only way I think like to beat him is to kill him.
Well, I think you could still lock him up.
No, he kept getting up and like he even ran away in their first fight.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a better way
Yeah,
to
there
do
is of
that than
course,
to
but
just
like
kill him off.
yeah, but the way that he just wouldn't stay down, like he just wouldn't get knocked out. Like he even strangled him for a little bit in the first fight,
Yeah.
and it still didn't work. It was just so annoying to watch.
Yeah, I think that he has. I'm not sure if that's one of his abilities, but he has a bunch of stamina.
Yeah. So let's talk about Karen Foggy. They were not really in this show, and spoilers if you didn't already know, but like Foggy died in the
Five
first five
minutes.
minutes.
I think that was a really interesting and bold choice to kill him off in the first 5 minutes. And a part of me wishes we got an episode before of them just doing a case. And maybe he died at the end of episode 1 because his death kind of doesn't have that much value because it opens and he's just dead. It feels like he was killed for shock value, which I know he was because they needed a reason to get Matt to stop being Daredevil. But
Yeah, I feel like Foggy's a too important, like he's too important of a character to just kill him off for shock value.
yeah,
Yeah, just like as a way for to get Daredevil to stop or to get Matt to stop being Daredevil. I think he's way too important for that.
I wish they gave him a better death, and him dying, it got two birds with one stone because they found a reason to write Karen out of the show, or at least for out of most of the season until she comes back in the end. But like they found a way to exclude her as well. I think that's why they needed something important like that because if Karen died, Foggy wouldn't turn his back on Matt, no matter what happened. But if Foggy died, Karen would.
Yeah, I really think that what happened at the beginning, like um, the opening scene for episode one, that should have been the ending scene, and we should have gotten like a case with all of them working together to see their dynamic. And the thing is, like, season three doesn't really like they were separated for most of the season of the original show, and we don't really get to see them work together like that much in the courtroom. And I think like we don't really know how their dynamic was anymore because even at Josie's, Matt and Karen, they were um, they were even saying that they're just friends and like they had this distance thing or something,
Yeah.
and we did not know about that. So I think if we like at the beginning we saw them take a case and they solved it, and at the end Foggy dies, I think that would have been better.
Also, they introduce us to the Karen and Foggy replacements in the opening scene, but I forgot who they are until like way later. I was like, weren't they in the first episode? So I think that if they were in most of the first episode, most of it before Foggy died, it would have given their addition would have made way more sense. because I thought they were just random people until like episode 7 or 8 when I was like, they're in the first episode.
Yeah, I think they did that on purpose though. Like I think they were supposed to be like rip-offs of Foggy and Karen. And um yeah, and even like he mentions that saying he feels like this life is kind of fake when he
Yeah,
said that to Heather, and it does feel fake for most of the show, of the season, because of like the replacements and how things are. It just doesn't feel real. The way that the original show with Foggy and Karen did.
yeah.
Yeah. Um. Okay, let's move on to the White Tiger.
The White Tiger subplot was really interesting because you don't know where Matt's going with these choices he's making. Like, he reveals his identity without Hector's permission, and it's working for a bit until the other guy counters it, and it just kind of cuts to when the case is over, and you get so shocked when he wins. I thought he was gonna lose and be in jail.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I did not think that he was going to be found not guilty
Yeah, I thought they were gonna
on all
think
charges.
he was innocent, or I thought they were gonna think he was guilty, and he would like maybe spend 20 years in prison.
Yeah, and maybe like Matt would have to do something to
Yeah,
get him out, or I don't know, maybe even fight the dirty cops.
yeah, and I think that even when we're done, even when he wins, you, the fact that there was no slow mo in the scene where they just kill him, makes it more better because you're not expecting anything big. Like if there's slow mo in a shot, you're like, okay, they're gonna do something special here.
Yeah.
But there wasn't, and it just so sudden. His death kind of hit more than Foggy. In a way, it was more unexpected because we got to build up to his, but Foggy we just open and he's just dead.
Well, it kind of opened with all of them at Josie's, then a whole fight between Daredevil and Bullseye. And then he finally got to him. I think with Hector, his kill, like him being killed, was wasn't built up as much, and that's what made it hit harder because it was
Yeah,
just a shocking moment. And the thing is, I was expecting one fight scene, like one more fight scene to like, or like one more scene with him just fighting crime and doing what he does, and then that would be the end of his character. And he'd probably go somewhere or something. But just to see him get killed off like that was very shocking to me. Like I did not see that coming.
yeah, and I think they have a lot of interesting things that they can do with his knees, and they didn't even try to tease any of that. We've seen the set photos where she's in a white tiger outfit, but they didn't try to tease any of it in season 1, which is interesting. But we'll see where that goes in season 2.
Yeah. So let's move on to the music. Um, the original theme for Daredevil was really good. Um, I really loved it, and I was really curious to see how they would, or even if they would incorporate it in the show. And I think with the trailers they had it in there, so I was just wondering I was curious to see if they would change the music, and if they did, how. Um, and what I love about it, like they ended up like adding this new part to it, and what I love about it is it's that it's kind of building up to the original theme, and I think that's the theme of the show is that um, it's been building up to Matt becoming Daredevil again. It's been building up to Wilson Fisk becoming Kingpin again, and it's just this build up. This whole show feels like build up for the characters, and that's what the music does. It adds this part with suspense, and it's kind of unsettling, and it's just building up to the original Daredevil theme. I think the Newton brothers really did well.
Yeah, I think it's a worthy successor to the old theme. And I feel like in the early seasons of Daredevil, the theme isn't used that much. But here, even in season 3, it's used. It's used in the normal show and not just the intro. And here they take it up to a whole other level where you'll hear the theme a lot more. It's more common.
Yeah, yeah, they knew that people loved the theme.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the action. I think we talked about this a lot, but the action. I think the action is better. Well, I think the old show definitely did have more fight scenes, and um, like the hallway fight scene and everything. But I think that the scenes that we do get here, just because of the bigger budget, I think they're done better. But it's kind of hard because there's so many fight scenes I could think about in the original show that I really loved, like the hallway scene, the prison scene. There's just so many, even the Matt versus Kingpin, or the Daredevil versus Kingpin in season 1 and 3.
Yeah. Even the Daredevil Bullseye, or there's multiple. The three-way fight in the
Yeah,
finale is really good.
um, I think the ones in the original show are more memorable and more maybe like creative. But in this one, they're done really good, and you can tell that the budget is higher, but they're really just fights, and they're not as to me they're not as iconic as the ones in the original show.
Yeah.
But in no way are they bad.
Also, the CGI really enhances the fights.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So I think that they benefited from that bigger budget when it comes to the action. But they also downgraded because maybe in season 2 we'll get way more since Matt is actually Daredevil for the whole season. But here he's Daredevil for just 5 episodes.
Yeah. And also we're gonna see him with the double D's
Yeah,
and the black suit. So that's gonna be cool. So what was your favorite episode?
it's definitely episode 5, the bank one.
I was gonna say that. I should have went first.
It's really, I love the way it follows this one story, and it's a really good standalone episode. I think that even the action here is really good, and the cameo from Miss Marvel's dad was great. I really do think it was not the. It's definitely not the best episode, but it's my favorite.
Yeah, I think if I since you said that, I guess I'll maybe say um when the Punisher comes in.
Episode 4.
Um Not like when Matt goes to Frank, but like when Karen calls the Punisher to
So the
help.
finale.
Yeah, I guess yeah, the finale.
That one's also really good. I do have my problems because it doesn't feel like a finale to the season. It feels like a uh, mid-season finale, but it's still a good episode.
Yeah, I think I love the action, the dialogue and everything. Yeah, so where do you think this season, just counting Born Again as season 4, where do you think it ranks among the other, like the original show?
Last place for me is season 2, and next up is Born Again. It's really not a bad season, but 1 and 3 are better. And I think season 2 of Born Again has the potential to steal maybe number 2 spot because it's just one creative team. It's not two.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think I do the same. I think 2 is in last place, then Born Again, then season 1, and then season 3.
Yeah, I think so too.
And putting it in the middle of 1 and 2 really says a lot about it because honestly, like I see, like every season of the original Daredevil show is really good, and there's not a bad season. But season 2, like in my opinion, was definitely the weakest, but it was still really good, and I give that season like a 7 out of 10. But Born Again, like I think I give it an 8 or 9 out of 10. But like season 1 and 3 are just, they're 10 out of 10s to me. So in no way are any of us saying that it's bad or it's a bad show.
I'm a bit higher on season 2 of the original show than you are. I think it's like an 8.5. But, and I think that this is a 9, and season 1 and 3 are both 10s. 3 is the best. But I still think that Born Again season 2 might be better than 3 if it's good enough. If they handle it well.
Yeah, I think season 2 could definitely be way better than season 1.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing how the one creative team will change the way this season, will change the mistakes that season 1 made, and to see how they maybe even fix the mistakes.
yeah.
So that's it for today's episode. Thanks for listening, and if you liked what you heard, be sure to follow, rate, and review this on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening. Take care.